Good morning, Chicago and the rest of the world. Welcome to the Money, Sex, Gen X podcast. I am your host with the most, the man with the plan, the Scotty Pimpin' of podcast pimping, Mr. Eric McLeod. And as I say every week, I am never alone. I am joined by the Titan of Teen Tech. Music mogul in the making. The Rashid Wallace. Stock market knowledge.
Come through, man.
My co-host.
Come on, man.
My brother. The homie, Big Stu.
We are back. Bo.
Big Stu, what is going on, man?
Man, everything good under the sun is happening right now. Welcome back, man. Good to see you again, man.
Good to see you again, man. Yesterday we had a good time, didn't we?
We did. Shout out to AMPR,
Africa Porter and Melanie L. Brown, two queens you need to know.
They are on point, man. And you know, I don't know if the people really realize this, but yesterday was the second time in over a year, in almost 2 years, that Eric and I met in person.
Yeah, that's right. The second time in a year, right? We met in 2020 in March.
Nah. Remember, it was 2019 in Hyde Park.
Okay.
And then we started working together that 2019 through the pandemic, right?
Okay.
And then we started working on the show in 2020.
All right. Wow.
So it's 2 years, man.
2 years. Yeah, it was cool to see you in person. You know, we were on the South Side, which you're from, and just to see you in your element was cool.
Yeah. It was a great day, man. Great photo shoot, video shoot, man. Good seeing you. Good catching up with some old people. That was really kind of like my second or third time being out socially since all of this stuff started back in 2020. So
okay,
it was cool. It was cool, man. Had a great time, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was nice, man. It was refreshing and exciting all at the same time. So that was
indeed. What's going on with you, man? How was your week?
It was good, man. I sent you a text yesterday on, as a friend telling you I accomplished one of my goals of been wanting to get a mountain bike for years.
Got it.
And it was one of those things where every time I would go to get it, something would happen, just being busy and stuff like that. So I finally got it yesterday, and man, it felt good.
Tell me about it. So how many inches was it?
I think it's I think it's a 21 inch. They said it was the extra large, size of tall people like you and I would ride. I think it was 21. Yeah.
Okay. Did you take it? Did you take it out yesterday? Did you put it out there yesterday, or you just
took it out immediately?
Did you?
Yeah, I actually rode the bike in the parking lot before I even put it in the car. You know what I mean? I stuffed it in the back of my car or whatever. But I rode it around the park. I know people was looking at me like, wow, this dude, But I rode it around, and I stuffed it in the car, brought it to the neighborhood, and then rode it again. So that was
dang.
Nice. Yeah.
That's great, man. That's I want to shout out my homies, man. They got a bike riding club. Corey Gilkey from Leaders, Mo Love, Sean Let, that whole crew. They ride their bikes, man. They go from like 31st all the way up to Hollywood or something, man. They go up towards the North Shore and back, bro. They
nice.
So shout out to all you bike riders. Yeah. Bertall, they got the bike riding club. Yeah. I see them on Instagram doing their thing. Shout out to all you bike riders, man. Fatal got the riding the bikes in Inglewood.
Yeah, I was just about to mention Inglewood, no doubt.
Yeah, Inglewood ride. He could do this thing for the kids. Shout out to Fatal. Yeah, man. I love you bike riders, man. All you bike riders out there, y'all dope.
Yeah, man. I just joined that fraternity, so I'm looking forward to that. Hey, man, before we get too far in the show, brother, you want to let them know about this MSG merch?
Dang, man, I am slipping today. You got it on, though. The MSG merch. Go to Money, Sex, Gen X podcast. dissect.com, and be sure you go to our merch store and cop you some merch. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about specifically. I just want to show you this real quick. Go to the merch store right here and get you some items. There's Eric's favorite coffee mug with the red piping. We have t-shirts, we have throw rugs, tank tops for unisex. You got to stay masked up. Please stay masked up, y'all. Book bags. I'm about to cop me these socks, E. I'm about to cop these socks, man.
Okay.
I'm into socks real heavy. Like I'm into socks like I'm into my bow ties.
Oh,
so,
okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I get all these fancy, weird, crazy socks, man. So
okay. Do you remember our guest Maurice George that came on in our season finale?
Yes.
He's into socks too. He ordered some socks to wear with some. I think he has some Jordans or something to match them up with.
Oh man, that's great, man. That's great. That's also I saw that order come through. Okay. So we have two different kinds of socks too. We have the multi logo socks that you see here, and then we have the big one logo, copper pair for you and your lady, man.
Okay.
Above the ankle socks, man. Some leggings, man. We got some dope stuff on our merch store, man. So shopmoneysexgenx.com, man. That's what's up.
Go over there and get your merch.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm actually rocking the cup with the red piping today.
I see.
So I'm in effect. So, man, today, Stu, we have a topic that has been really circulating in the social media environment and in mainstream media, this concept of the high value man. And I've been looking forward to talking to you about this. It's a conversation that's been out there for since the beginning of time, but the brother Kevin Samuels, who a lot of you have seen, he got popular making these videos where he's having these conversations with women, but he did also have a video called "Are You a High Value Man?"
Yeah, man. He gives a definition. For the high value man.
He gives a definition. He does, and I wasn't really feeling him at first until I saw him on Joe Budden's podcast. And I got a chance to really understand Stu where he was coming from.
So wait. First, let's talk about why weren't you feeling him at first?
I don't know, man. It was just something about the swag, or just the way he would. And then I caught, and this is no type of shade or hate him, because I really respect the brother now that I did my research or did the knowledge. But the clips that I saw, the way he was talking, what they cut, the way he was talking to the women, I just thought it was disrespectful. But I wasn't seeing the other parts of the conversation. Okay.
Yeah, man. I want you to finish your thought, your train of thought, but I wanted to stop there because I'm having these. I'm trying to understand what it is when I say I don't like something or somebody, because he rubbed me the wrong way the very first time that I ran across him too.
Okay.
But to be honest, man, I think what it was more admiration showing up as kind of like hate. You know what I mean? Like,
wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's like,
honest.
Yeah. I think I was doing a little more hating than I was.
What are you hating on him about, though?
Man, how well buttoned up he is.
Okay.
He projects this level of confidence that I aspire.
All right.
You know what I mean? So
that's real.
It reminded me, so that's what it was for me. But then you said you saw him on Joe Budden's, and then you got a new appreciation for him.
Yeah, I got a new appreciation. I want to mention my little brother. My little brother, Lamont, is the one who actually put me on to Kevin Samuels. He came over to my house and spent a couple of days with me about 2 months ago. He was like, yo, watch this video. So sometimes when my brother sends me stuff, I'm like, but I actually watched this video and I was like, wow. And it was the high value men video. So anyway, fast forward, caught a couple of clips where he was talking to the women or whatever. Then I saw him on Joe Budden. So what I saw on Joe Budden, this is what I learned. I respect men who understand and know history. The brother is a historian. If you listen to him talk, the points that he's making are typically tied to history. He was very clear about the fact that he did not invent the high value conversation. This is a conversation that's been going on since the beginning of time. He made references to other times that we may have seen it. I thought that was good. The third thing that brought home to me was this. When we're talking about high value men, Stu, we're not talking about how good of a father you are. Is Stu a nice guy? And, you know, is he fun and all of that? We're not talking about that. He's not talking about that. Kevin wasn't talking about that in his video. He's talking about how does the world value you as it relates to business, your social standing? What is a moment of your time worth? And that's when I really got intrigued more with this conversation.
What I want to do, can we, I don't know if this was part of our program. Can we listen to him a little bit? Can I play a little clip, a small clip from Kevin Samuels?
Yeah,
let's play a small clip from Kevin Samuels. Mark, don't worry. I know this is impromptu, so I'm glad that you back there, because you see how we move, and if we having you back there allows us to move so much smoother. Let's check him out and see what he has to say real quick.
All right.
But here's the thing. So many people are talking about high value this, high value that. And many times they're actually talking about me and saying as though, well, Kevin said this or Kevin said that. And many people are getting it 100% wrong. So in an attempt to make sense of all this, I want to give you guys the 6 basic principles that I define as being high value. Now, again, you don't have to agree with what I'm saying, but this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying a high value man. So your mileage may vary, your opinion is your opinion, but when I'm talking about it, this is what I'm talking about. So let's get it started. First of all, let's go over some basic definitions.
This the part right here.
Normal in quantity, size, or intensity. Value, the regard of something held to deserve, the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. And man, an adult human male. So when you put all that together, what do you have? An adult human male that's greater than normal importance or usefulness to what? The group. Basic economic principle states that the value of something.
I think that's pretty much, we get it, right?
Yeah, that was good that you showed that, no doubt.
Yeah,
okay. That was good.
So a man that's greater value and of good to his environment,
right?
For a high value man.
Exactly. So when we're going to talk about this, I actually came up with my own 10 points about, because it made me think, what do I think a high value man is personally? So I came up with my own 10 points that I want to discuss with you today. I cannot wait to get your feedback. I encourage you to disagree. I encourage us to have a robust dialogue, and I want to encourage the culture. Let's keep having this conversation, y'all. We need to keep talking about this. It's very important, and consider what your list of a high value man could be.
Yeah, I especially want to hear from the ladies as we get into this. Now, we're not talking about high value women, fellas. We're gonna see, are you a high value man, right? So, Eric, it's on you, brother.
All right, so we're going to go into our actual factuals, which we do every week, where we attempt to bring some facts to the table. Right. I know a lot of brothers got upset about this high value man conversation. Hope you don't get upset today, but we're just going to explore this topic together. So you talked about the women. Here's where the women come into play real quick, Stu. Have you ever heard of the term hypergamy? No, let me get this. Hypergamy. Hypergamy.
Hypergamy.
Woo, it's a mouthful. Hypergamy.
Nah, never heard of hypergamy. New word to me. New word.
I never heard of this until I was watching one of Kevin's videos. Hypergamy is when you marry or form a sexual relationship with a person of superior social or educational background.
So groupies.
I'm gonna say it to you one more time and let me know if you have the same comment. Marrying or forming a sexual relationship with a person of superior social or educational background.
Yeah.
So when we think about this, so a woman is going to be concerned about who is a high value man, because they're thinking about who do they want to marry, who do they want to form a sexual relationship with in some cases. And this person might be of superior. So it could be a celebrity.
Could be.
But it also could be somebody that has a very high educational background from this definition.
Could be an executive. Could be a lot of things, right?
Right. It could be somebody from a well-to-do or well-known family.
Mm-hmm.
It could be someone who's from a specific community.
Mm.
It could be a lot of different things. So that's hypergamy. So that's one actual fact. Now, we want to always define what is high value. We define in terms of what we're talking about. Commanding a high price due to perceived value.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we get that.
All right.
There's different types of values, Stu, as you know: monetary,
Mm-hmm.
social,
Mm-hmm.
experience, and
Mm-hmm.
social energy. Okay, those are
Okay.
types of high value. Then you get into this conversation, Stu, about what's the difference between quality and value. Value often includes a price. So when we say what is a high value man, we get back to economics. It has to do with what the market is willing to pay this type of person or get a moment of their time. Where quality, and this is the part that I think a lot of people got upset about, that doesn't depend on price. So it's like, is Stu a good husband or father and all of that? That's the quality conversation.
Nothing matters when it comes to that.
Right. So that's a whole different conversation. We're talking about what is Eric and Stu's value in the marketplace.
Okay.
And then the word value, usefulness or worth of something relative, again, to a price, a comparison of value that is given. Thank you to our research team for pulling that out. So we're talking about economics here, talking about perceived value in the marketplace.
And Kevin says he gives a real number. I want to see if you agree with this number. Kevin said $10,000 a month if you live in Atlanta, according to Atlanta's living standard of living. According to Atlanta's standard of living, and you would correct or recalibrate based on where you live in the country compared to Atlanta. But if you make $10,000 a month consistently for at least 3 years, where you're just scratching the surface, 5 years or more, economically, you are a high value man. And $10,000 a month income.
I agree.
Or great. You agree with that?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Do you?
I would have to agree with that.
Okay.
That's a good number.
That's a good number.
That's a good number. Now, for people that's living in Chicago, New York, and LA, please understand your 10,000 compared to Atlanta might be a little bit lower. Because so in New York, that 10,000 could be 8,000 a month. In Chicago, it may be 6, 7, 8,000. LA, and maybe same thing. But if you're in Atlanta, you should be making $10,000 a month in order to be considered a high value man. Step one, economically, one.
So I want to add on to that. I feel like that $100,000 a year number is symbolic. So even if you live in Chicago, Memphis, Philly, whatever, I think in this conversation that $100,000 income is symbolic of high value. Mm-hmm. That's my personal opinion.
So no, you're saying it don't matter where you at, 100 racks a month, period.
Yeah, because I feel like it's symbolic. It's symbolic. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
And let's talk about this. Why? So you said you agree with. I'm curious to see why do you agree with that's relevant.
Why do I agree with the 100,000? 10,000 a month. Well, I mean, you got to be a producer, so you got to be about something. You have to have something going for yourself. You have to be a go-getter. That does demand a lot. Commands a lot of that individual who can bring in that sort of revenue regularly and consistently over time.
No doubt. True indeed.
So that's like, you got to commit to that. You got to be about that life.
Right. I agree totally. Okay. I just wanted to see where you were coming from with that. All right. So we're on the same page with that. So that was number one on my list, actually. Some of my list includes what Kevin was saying, and then I have my own stuff. So number two, and this was on Kevin's list, and we're talking about Kevin Samuels. His list had group acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that other high value people accept you.
Mm-hmm.
Where you at with that one?
100% agree. Birds of a feather flock together. Your friends are you probably are. What is that? What's that saying that you're the sum, your value, your net worth is the sum of your five closest friends or allies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you got to have a circle of influence that resembles what you're about.
That's right.
You shouldn't be the guy that makes 100,000 or more, but you're hanging out with the cats that's, not. Let me just say it that way.
Yeah. I mean, I might differ a little bit on that part. I think for me, I know this is open for interpretation. Everybody's gonna have their own interpretation. What I would say about that, to me, it doesn't mean you don't hang with people who don't make that money or that aren't high value. It just means that if there's a group of other high value people, they are going to be like, hey, he is high value.
They're going to recognize you. They're going to invite you around. They don't mind hanging around you.
Exactly.
They see the value in you. They accept you. All right, it's its own little fraternity of sorts.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And again, this is just me and Stu's interpretation. We invite you to come up with your own.
Well, and then before you go to why was this topic even important to you?
Wow, I'm glad you asked that. I've never even heard this conversation before. As far as I am out there in age, I've never been spoken to about this. Okay, that's cool. But why? I mean, what are we men supposed to do with this? How do we use this today? First, I know, I mean, we haven't even really gotten into it. We're about to define, because one of the questions, guys, ladies, I want you to look at the guys that you're dealing with, or the men in your life. Men, I want you to look at yourself, because we're going to get to this question. Eric is going to bring it up. He's going to ask you, are you a high value man? But we're going to define all that first, but we're going to get to that. But are you a high value? So if I find out that I am a high value man, what can I do with that? If I find out that I'm not a high value man, today, are you going to help me figure out how to be one? Or, why do I need to be one? Do I need to be a high value man? Why would I want to be one? There's a lot of questions in that question. It is. I think those are all great questions. I don't think a person needs to be high value. I think it's a decision that you make depending on what you want to do in your life. What do you do with the information? It could give you some insight as to why you're not moving at the level that you would like to move in your life. Like I talk to a lot of people, sometimes they'll be frustrated that they're not further along in life. This conversation gives you a little bit of insight as to how people may perceive you. Mm-hmm. Those people that you're trying to tap into to get to where you really, really want to go, they're sort of using some of this criteria to evaluate, are you valuable enough to be taken seriously in these contexts? Mm-hmm. So that's how I see it. And then, the question of, are you a high value man? If you say, I want to be a high value man, Stu, like I really do want to do that. That's good, because a lot of people could hear this conversation earlier than maybe you and I did. I never had this conversation in my life until now. And that's not good. I figured out a couple of things on my own, which was great. But what if somebody had just laid this out for me when I was 18 or 17?
Oh, okay. That's useful.
Yeah, that was a great question. Great question.
One of the things that I got from Kevin Samuels particularly is when you were talking about the type of women, or let me just say the type of relationships, and it was intimate relationships in this case. Mm-hmm. When it comes to the types of intimate relationships that you are looking for, you desire to be in, then you need to ask yourself, well, you say you want all of these things, fellas, from this woman. Are you demanding that? Are you the dude that deserves it? Are you a high value man? You asking for these high value experiences in your relationship, are you a high value man first?
Right. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going, man. Now you got some more stuff for us, man.
And you just made me think about something else too.
Come on, bring it.
I'm glad you said that. So sometimes by evaluating this type of criteria, you learn that some people are just sort of fronting on you a little bit, meaning that you actually are high value, but they're trying to play you like you're not.
And I'm glad you said that. My spirits is. I'm having brunch, y'all. So it's about to get on and popping in a minute, man. And I think sometimes, and I said it yesterday when we were meeting, fellas, maybe you are just a little too insecure to recognize that you are a high value dude.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Maybe maybe you're afraid of the concept of being high value. And so you just dumb down. Let's say you discount your value.
No question. Yes.
So when you should be leveling up, you fall back and date down.
Yeah. Or accept opportunities that are really you should be beyond at that time.
You should be above it.
Yeah.
But your comfort zone is where you at when you really should be leveling up. You probably are a high value dude, but you're scared or too insecure to accept your royalty.
Wow. Yeah, man, that's heavy. And then that brings me to something else. You're making a lot of connections for me today.
Come on, man.
What if you are too insecure to accept that you are not a high value?
Okay. Mark, get this. Stu's moment of transparency. Stu's moment of transparency, man.
Give it to him.
Ooh, this is oh my goodness. I have broken up with women, high successful women, because I was intimidated by them and didn't recognize my own value as a man. I'm talking doctors, not PhDs. I'm talking doctors.
Yeah.
A doctor, high powered, man. This one woman was making in the twos.
Okay.
High six figures.
Yeah.
Chose me. I got chosen, but got spooked.
Yeah.
An attorney, principal, but didn't recognize my own high value, so sabotaged the relationship.
Yeah, man, that happens far too often out here. You're a real G for admitting that. You know, men would admit that on camera, live.
Damn.
Stu's moment of disclosure, that was real. Yeah, man. I mean, now I want to ask you, so at this point in your life, though, what can you quickly tell people, like, how did you get to, like, if you were to encounter those same, I know you're in a relationship,
yeah,
but like, say you weren't, and then you encounter some of those people again in this day and time, would you be in a different space mentally about that?
So I am in a different space mentally, E. And a lot of this conversation of being a high value man comes with, to me, your level of maturity as a man. And so the other part of that, those comments that I just made, is I wasn't as mature then as I am now.
Yeah.
So today in my relationship, my entering this relationship had everything to do with me recognizing my value.
Gotcha.
And my unwillingness to date down.
Unwillingness to date down.
In this stage in my life, my relationship is a level up for me. Okay. More than just the exterior toys and gadgets and things, mentally and spiritually. And that's a level up. That's kind of a remix of what Kevin Samuels was talking about, but the high value as a man is like recognizing where you are, man, and who you are and what you are willing to accept and unwilling to accept.
Yeah, because it sounds like you're a living example of hypergamy based on what you just said, right?
Bring that definition back.
So basically dating up and not dating down.
Yeah, but wait a minute. It says something about for social status or education.
Mm-hmm.
But I said it was beyond that. More in addition to that, it's also spiritual.
Okay.
Mental.
I got you.
Yeah. Let's keep going. This is a heavy conversation.
I don't want to get caught up on this, but I guess I include that in social. But no, I got you.
Marrying or forming a sexual relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Marrying or forming with a person of superior. So mine is not hypergamy because mine is not superior social or educational. It's beyond that. So no.
Beyond that. I got you. All right.
I used to be about that, is what I was saying.
Oh, I see.
I used to be on that.
Okay.
She drive a Benz. She got a big house. She make X amount of money. I was only rocking with that.
Got you. Hey, y'all, if you are just turning in, you are rocking out with the Money, Sex, Gen X podcast. This is season 4, episode 2. Are you a high value man? You're here with Eric and Stu, and we're going through what we believe, or a list that I made about are you a high value man? I'm getting Stu's feedback. So let's keep going.
Let's go, man.
All right. So number 3 is having a network. Now, this is something that I see a lot of people get confused about. I was confused about it when I was younger. We think sometimes that having a network means knowing a lot of people. I interact with quite a few people. They're quick to tell you who they know, which is cool. That's great that you know a lot of people. But in Kevin's definition, I tend to agree with this. It's not about just knowing the people. It's knowing other useful people. Right? So you might be like, hey, I know the mayor or whatever. Okay, cool. Can you get the mayor to do something? Can you call the mayor and make something happen? Right? Or I know people quickly always tell you, I know this celebrity. I grew up with him. That's cool. Love it. But can you call that NBA player and get him to donate some money to your charity?
Right.
So that's a network. What do you think about that?
I agree 100%. I used to call it who will answer the phone for me?
Who will answer the phone for you?
Who will answer the phone for me, man? So
this one's pretty straightforward. Let's keep moving. Number 4 on my list, and I got this one from Kevin again. Image, LinkedIn level value at a glance. So here's what he said about this, and I thought this was worded very well. If you're high value, I can just glance at your LinkedIn, for example, and I know exactly whether you're valuable or not. I know what you do quickly. I don't have to figure nothing out. Same thing, even if we're not in the digital environment. When I see your representation somewhere, I'm clear about what Stu does. It's clear. There's no question marks. I like that one.
I like that. Let's keep going. Thumbs up. I agree. I agree with that.
All right. So LinkedIn level at a glance value. Right. And if you're a young professional out there, I want you to encourage you all, take a look at your LinkedIn or some, one of those things, and ask somebody from your network that you respect, take a look at my LinkedIn and let me know, is it clear how I add value to the marketplace from my LinkedIn profile? And just see what it comes back.
And if you are dissing LinkedIn, you got to ask yourself, why are you dissing LinkedIn? Because it is the place for the professionals. It's the number one platform for professionals
in the world.
So if you dissing LinkedIn because they too stiff on LinkedIn, they're not making jokes and posting funny fight videos, and then you got to ask yourself, why?
That's right.
Are you dissing them? So recheck that.
Yeah. And again, it doesn't need to be LinkedIn, just your overall profile. All right, let's go. Number 5 on my list. Now, this is where I'm not going with Kevin anymore. I'm kind of branching off. I believe that high value men have experienced a great deal of failure. Failure. Something that you and I we've talked about this since season 1, our failures. Whether it be failed relationships, failed businesses, failed educational pursuit. I don't care what it is. I would like to see, before I say somebody's high value, a history of failure, and I want to talk about why. But first, I want to get Stu's take.
Yeah, because particularly if you've had some failures and you still in it, it tends to show your resiliency, your fight, right? And it also definitely is the number one way to give you something to prove that you have experience by your failures, what you failed at. Yeah, so I agree with that.
Yeah, and it shows that you're action oriented. I have a saying on my Facebook profile that says "fail faster." Somebody reached out to me one day. They're like, "Man, what do you mean by that?" What I mean by that is people who are the most successful, when you look back at their history, they don't sit around thinking and theorizing and all that. They're out there doing stuff. And so the more you're doing stuff, naturally, you're going to fail quite a bit because you're in motion. You're in action. So inevitably you're going to fail, but those failures lead to a high level of success.
Indeed. Let's keep going. What else you got? Because you got 10 points.
I got 10. We're at number 6. Now, after I say this one, this is what I want us to do, Stu. I want us to start comparing these to people that we think are high value that we're willing to mention to see if this is stacking up.
Other high value people, dudes. And actually, the whole time I've been looking at my own personal network. Okay. I'm thinking about my own personal network, and I could do some name drops, but you're in there, and a few other people that I value are in my network, and I'm thinking about those men.
Okay, maybe we can do it where we mention celebrities only so we don't have to get personal, but like these are people that the viewers kind of know also.
Okay, all right, that's what's up.
All right, boom. Number 6 on my list here: consistency plus evolution. Consistency plus evolution.
What you mean by the evolution part? What's evolution? Evolving, change, adapting. Is that what you mean?
More than it's like if we're the same person that we were 10 years ago, are we really a high value man? It's kind of a hard argument.
Well, wait a minute, and you have to dissect that a little bit, because I would venture to say I'm the same dude that I was when I was 16.
I don't mean your core character. I'll be a little deeper. I'm talking about the way you interact with. How can I explain this? The total sum of who you are, I don't believe is the same as what it was 10 years ago. You are the same personality, the same values and all that, but just what you've contributed to the world, it's not the same from 10 years ago.
Evolve. I get it. I understand.
Now, some people might ask, where does the consistency come in? Well, we talked about at the beginning of this conversation, just the $100,000 mark or the $120,000. Anybody can make $100,000 one time, right? Right. Just using salary as an example, but to do it over and over, it shows that you truly understand the dedication that it takes to do something like that over and over. Shows a level of proficiency that many may not have. Just being consistent in general. I look at people's profiles sometimes, even on social media, and sometimes it'll be like this person is presenting themselves one way today, one way another day. It can be confusing. So you could be a high value man, but it doesn't look like it, because every time I'm looking at you in a digital environment, for example, you seem to be a different person. So it's hard to trust that. You know what I mean? So, because some people are like, well, I want to change my hair every 5 minutes. That's fine. But if you're looking for trust, you might have to re-examine that potentially. Agree or disagree? Let's see how you feel.
I like the consistency. You got to be consistent. And I'm thinking about, consistently bringing innovation, consistently growing, consistently leveling up.
Yeah.
Consistently adding value, consistently. Yeah, being a stand-up dude. That's what we call it. You're a stand-up guy. You're a stand-up dude. Yeah. All right. I'm with it. I got it. Okay. Agree.
All right. So that's number 6. Number 7. This is something that I came up with. What is your body of work? So you're saying a person come up to you like, man, yeah, I'm a high value dude. You know what I mean? What I'm going to say to them or be looking at is, what have you done?
What have you done for me lately?
Now, what have you done for the market lately, man? Like, you know, what's going, so what have you done? Have you formed an organization? Have you built $10 million businesses? Whatever it is. What have you done?
What have you done?
Yeah.
How does the market value you?
Yeah. Yeah. And this would go into why they value you like that. If you have a track record, say you're a political strategist and you've gotten 10 Chicago aldermen elected over the last couple of years. Okay. Yeah, you've earned that value. You have a track record that we can point to.
I want to hear from the guys. I want to hear from the men out there. Do y'all agree with what Eric's actual factuals? Do you agree with his 10 points? He's at number 8 right now. I think this is 8, right?
Yeah, we got 8 coming up.
This is 8. This is number 7 so far. Can you go over just real quick the first 7 that you've done so far, E?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Recap the first 7.
Yeah. So the number 1 was money. We're talking about $100K a year for 3 to 5 years. Talking about group acceptance was number 2. So other high value people accept you. 3 is a network, knowing other useful people. Number 4 was your value being able to be conveyed at a glance. We talked about LinkedIn. Can I look at your LinkedIn and see your value at a glance and not have to figure out anything? Number 5, failure. People who are action oriented. So they're doing stuff all the time and they failed and they have that history of failure, but that leads to great success. 6, consistency plus evolution. So you're consistently adding value and you're consistently evolving as a human being, right? And some people will be like, well, didn't you say that this has nothing to do with the quality that you are as a person? Yeah, it does. But we're talking about even in you adding value economically, that you're continuing to evolve. That might even be something like evolving your income. If you're at the same income, say you made 100K 10 years ago and you had 100K 10 years later, man, that's not evolution. But it is consistency, but it's not an evolution. You should theoretically be at 150, 200, for example.
Hey, yo, and that's was that number 7 right there?
That was number 6.
And what's number 7?
Number 7 is, what is your body of work? What have you done?
Yeah. Hey, y'all should bite back, man. Let us know if you agree with Eric's 7 points so far. We're about to get into his 8th one.
Yep. And I'm going to add on to number 7 real quick. That kind of speaks, and I think this is important to say. If you feel like you're a high value man or you want to be a high value man one day, you got to ask yourself, what are you skilled at? What are you skilled at, Stu? What can you do at a very, very high level? And you got to sit with yourself and really think about that sometimes. Like, man, what do I know how to do? If I write out a list, would that list be satisfactory?
Rosalind Alcott says, can there be levels of high value according to class or something like that? Can there be high value among poor people? Is that what she's saying? Versus high value among the nouveau riche? Is that what she's asking?
Yeah. I would be hard pressed to say that there couldn't be levels to. They always say there's level to this, there's levels to this. Yeah, of course,
Might be somebody who's high value in the hood, but they don't make nearly 100,000, but because that would not be in alignment with that environment. Rosalind, is that what we're saying? Is that what we're asking?
Let us know if we're getting you on that. I'll use Nas for example. He's a hip hop hero of mine, but now he's becoming a business hero of mine. So I might be like, yeah, I'm a high value man, but I'm not high value on the same level as Nas.
I'm not, and I would look right, Jay-Z. I'm not 400 million a year.
I still may fit the criteria, but they're just more evolved in that space.
Yeah. They're high valued. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So maybe that's what Rosalind's talking about.
But you can, Rosalind. So yes, you can. Economically, you can be. We're saying at least 100,000 a year. at least 100,000 a year consistently, and then it's just up from there. At least up from that. Up from there.
Yep. And it gets more granular than that to me sometimes, because I always ask people, what is a moment of your time worth?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How much does it cost me to talk to Big Stu in his profession or what he's highly skilled at?
Mm-hmm.
She says yes. Rosalind says yes, perhaps in brackets or even outside of money.
Yeah. Are you a high value man?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can there be levels of high? Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Rosalind. Yes, we agree with you.
So thank you for chiming in. So let's go to number 8. Number 8 is social experience.
Social experience.
I came up with this one by doing some research this week. So if you're high value, I would say that you are adept socially. You know how to move in social circles, when you know how to speak with people, you know how to have a level of charm, interact with people in a way that inspires confidence and respect. It's kind of hard, in my opinion, to be high value if you don't have that social experience. It may come easier for some than others, but that's another one of those sort of love, hell, or right, or trial and error. The more you do it, the better you get socially.
Okay. Is that also part of being like a world traveler as well, or is that something different, E?
I think it's the same, because I feel like when you go to other countries and you interact with different people, it helps you when you get back home.
Yeah.
You just have a broader perspective or view. Yeah.
Got that perspective. Okay.
No doubt. All right. So now we have number 9, Stu, which is impact plus influence. Impact plus influence. What do you got to say about those?
Impact plus influence. Who are you impacting? How are you creating impact? Are you a game changer? Okay. Yeah. Do you have a Midas touch of your own? Are you able to get people in a right direction? Are you the Harriet Tubman of whatever it is that you're doing to a degree? Impact plus influence.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have some influence, man.
Do people listen to you?
Yeah. Do people listen to you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this doesn't always have. We have this term influencer on social media, but it could be, real life. Like, somebody will call you for advice, or you like, hey man, you might want to think about this, and they actually consider it. Like, oh, okay, Stu said that. Let me go ahead and think about that.
Do you get your flowers? Some people say they want their flowers now. Can you say that people call you and give you your flowers today? Do people give you your flowers right now? Yeah. Sometimes you get that phone call, man, that's just like somebody's calling just to show appreciation. Mm-hmm. They are constantly telling how much they appreciate you today while you're here. If you consistently get that feedback, that's your impact and influence right there. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Yeah,
which is something that you and I do between each other. We're constantly telling each other, man, I appreciate you, or pointing out to other people what the contributions were and all of that. Because
only because you deserve it, bro. Only because you deserve it, man.
It's deserved, but it's communicated.
Yeah.
And so, that's part of impact and influence. Now we got number 10, and then I want to go to the analysis of actual people against these criteria. Number 10 is the one that I like the most, and it is power. 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 The ability, Stu, to get things done.
Okay. All right.
Power.
You got to check yourself. All right. How much can you get things done? To what level, what degree? Because that power is going to also go back to that impact.
Yeah, it does.
All right.
Yes, it does. Yep.
So the ability to get things done.
I'm going to run through these real quick one more time if somebody's just jumping on. So we had 10 things that we feel are the criteria, or I had this conversation with Stu. So money is number 1. Group acceptance is number 2. Network. 4 is image. 5 is failure. 6 is consistency and evolution. Number 7 is what is your body of work, Stu? 8 is social experience. Number 9 was impact plus influence. And then we landed on number 10, which is power, being useful to people and groups by getting things done.
We got a question from a young boy, a young nephew, Lava Boy, aka Lavelle. Money, status, looks, or confidence. Which is the most important? Money, status, looks, or confidence?
Interesting.
You want to go at it first, E?
Man, that's a good question, Lava Boy. I would say in this conversation, status. Because we're talking about, we got to remember, we're talking about value in the marketplace. So you could be nice looking and be very confident, but not necessarily have value economically. You could. Some people have that holy trinity and have all of that. But I'm talking about right now, we're saying, well, hey, you could be nice looking, you could be very confident. I know many people like that. They're nice looking, they're confident, but are they valuable in the marketplace? No. So I would say status. What about you?
I'm going a different direction.
Okay, let's hear it.
I think you need confidence over everything. I think the confidence is what gets you to the bag. I think your confidence could be attractive, and your confidence will get you the status. Okay. And I think the confidence first, because confidence is mental.
Okay.
So I'm going confidence, Lava Boy.
I can rock with that. So
bring confidence and get it. Yeah.
Stu says confidence. So if you're out there, let us know what you think. Now, I want us to now do this analysis. So let's see who's out there in the media that we would say fit this criteria of being a high value man.
Hold that 1 second, E. Hold that segment 1 second, because we have one more question. And then let's get to that segment. Value in the marketplace or valuable to women? It's this follow-up question to you when you said status. Or he's saying, are we talking valuable in the marketplace or valuable to women? I think we're talking the marketplace, whether that's a job, women.
Yeah, it includes both. Yep.
Okay. So marketplace. Okay. Let's go to that segment. Let's do the analysis.
So who do we know that embodies these 10 characteristics or traits of a high value man?
LeBron James.
Yeah, definitely. I got to mention Jay-Z.
Nas,
I just mentioned.
What about Kanye?
Now that's interesting. Let me go back through this. Now I gotta look now.
He's got the money. He's got the impact.
Yeah, I would have to say yes. I feel like Kanye is a creative genius, so that alone to me has made him hit all of these different categories, right? His creativity in creating products that resonate with people, whether it be an album, shoes, clothes, whatever it is. So yeah, I would say yes.
What about, I don't know, let's go with a money bag yo.
Don't know. Don't know. And maybe I should, but I just don't know.
What about a G Herbo?
All right, let's go back through it.
G Herbo.
I don't know him that well. I think he seems to have a big impact from what I can tell. He's a Chicago artist. I know that.
Drill rapper.
And it seems like he has an international following at this point. I would have to say yes.
Wow. I'm trying to think of somebody. Is there anybody in the? Okay, here's one. Thank you, Betty. Kenya Barris.
Kenya Barris.
One of your favorite guys.
No question. Man, I can't wait till that second season come out. Yeah, man, I gotta say Kenya Barris. I mean, that's where these levels come in, because his is at, to me, one of the highest levels, because he's in the entertainment industry. He's writing shows that everyone loves.
So I mean, is there anybody in that space who would not like if you got if you got celebrity status, then aren't you high value? Like who would we know that's not high value? Like we wouldn't know that person. The value of knowing them is not enough for us to know.
Right. I think you're right about that. If we know them and they're in their celebrity, I believe they would fit the criteria, because we're talking about the marketplace now. We got to remember, we're not talking about is he a nice person and is he funny, and we're not talking about none of that. Is he a good father and all that? I'll give you an example. Would you say Lamar Odom is high value man?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yes.
So we're not talking about none of this other stuff that you might know about Lamar. We're talking about value in the marketplace, and I agree, he's absolutely high value.
All right, let me give you one.
O.J. Simpson.
Is O.J. Simpson a high value man? Wow.
That's interesting. Did you see that video that he did last week where he was talking to LeBron James about LeBron's tweets about the young lady that got killed in Ohio by the police?
No, wait, O.J. Simpson was?
Yeah, he did a video where he was talking directly to LeBron, and he was kind of saying, sometimes we need to hold back before we tweet this stuff and really evaluate the situation and all this stuff. I watched it. It was interesting. It's about 10 minutes.
Is O.J. Simpson a high value man? Don't get off the subject. Don't change the subject.
I'm trying to give myself some space to think about it, man. I'm gonna have to push that one on you, Stu. Like, I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know.
OJ still getting paid, bro. OJ still getting paid.
He's powerful.
He's powerful. He's got influence. He's
got the body of work.
He's in history. He's been consistent.
He's failed.
He's not a murderer.
Right.
He wasn't. He's not convicted of any murder. So, is O.J. Simpson a high value man? Yes.
Please let us know in the comments if you think O.J. Simpson is a high value man.
All right. What about your boy that just got knocked out by Jake Paul, Nate Robinson? Did his value go down after getting knocked out by Jake Paul, man?
It did, yeah. But that's a failure, right?
Yeah.
Is he still high value?
Roslyn wants to know if OJ does OJ still have influence?
Are you talking about OJ Roslyn, or are you talking about Nate Robinson?
She's talking. I think she's talking OJ. Roslyn, let us know. Does OJ still have influence? And Lava Boy says they high value.
Wow.
And Roslyn's talking OJ.
Okay.
Does OJ still have influence?
He does. I think he does.
For all of it, OJ is made it to Jesus level. And what I mean by that is look, Tupac has made it to Jesus level. Like when they die, their story will live on for eternity. That's what I mean when I say Jesus level. OJ's story is here for eternity. DMX is here for eternity. Tupac, eternity.
Was DMX a high value man?
Damn.
I'm gonna just jump in front of you with that. He was. To me, he was. So I'm gonna just say that before.
Damn. So is this what's that posthumous? What's that called? What's that word?
Posthumous.
Posthumous. Was he high value when? Yeah, he was. Even when he fell off, he was still
impact and influence. Man, he had that down crazy. Like he was, I don't know. But then with DMX, I'm saying quickly that he was. But like, for example, I keep reading these reports of people in the music industry saying that people failed him when he needed their help the most. And if those people that failed him were high value, did he have the group acceptance that we're talking about?
No, I don't buy that shit, man. Fuck that. I do not buy that narrative. I saw a video of a dude going off about the black people failed DMX. Fuck that. No, we didn't. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. It's look, people when it look, this is my 2 cents, and call it my ignorance or whatever you want to call it. You can't help people that don't want to be helped. All the help, if the dude want to do drugs and he hasn't, or they haven't gotten, this person is doing drugs, and if that person hasn't gotten to the point for themselves where they're like, I want to stop doing this, I need help, that's the only time they succeed. When that individual says to themselves, I don't want to do this anymore. Okay. So and when they trying to do interventions and everybody's saying, but this is so bad. If they ain't feeling that, they's like, well, shit, I'm still trying to get high. And ain't nothing we didn't fail them. Nope. And this ain't no knock against people who were used and abused or DMX. This is no defamation of his life or nothing. I'm just saying, having dealt with family members who have abused drugs and I know firsthand, if they're not ready to be off of it, there's nothing you could do. So no, I don't agree that black people failed DMX at all. Not at all. Not at all. DMX made his choice.
I think the argument, and I still think what you're saying is relevant, though. They're saying the music industry failed, not black people. Like what
was they supposed to do?
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I mean,
what are they supposed to do?
I would like to know from people like Swizz Beats and whoever this is that is saying these things what do you mean specifically? Do you know about something behind the scenes that the average person wouldn't know about as to DMX trying to get help and he was refused?
Yeah, right. Like, I'll tell you, the NBA before Mark Cuban came along, they had failed your boy, the Muslim dude that played for Dallas Mavericks, Chris, I can't think of his name, but he was homeless on the streets. He had a mental issue. Delonte West, man. The NBA had failed him until Mark Cuban went out there and scooped him up, gave him a place, because he was on the streets. He was literally he was homeless. That's a failure by an industry. I think DMX was still doing movies. DMX was in movies recently in 2020. So nah, man, I don't think. Well, again, I think I like what you said. I want to hear the instances in which people feel like he was failed by a group of people.
Yeah,
right.
I'd like to know that.
I'd like to know that
for sure.
But I guess I want to know, and I don't know if this is the right time. Are you a high valued man?
Before I answer that question,
okay,
I'm gonna throw it back at you. I want to do this real quick.
Okay,
let's do this analysis. So we went through the list, right? What would you say that? I don't even care about what your answer is right now, as far as whether you are or you're not. But say you're just knowing your history. Out of these 10 items, which ones do you think you personally need to work on the most?
As an entrepreneur, it's the number one. It's the number one.
Money.
Consistently bringing in 10K a month consistently.
Okay.
That's the number one. That's the number one I need to work on.
Okay. All right.
Number one.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I would say for me, I'm not really into this like that, but if we're having this conversation, we're having it. So number 10, I would say power. I think that's one of those things where it's levels to this. Like you could have a degree of power, but that's one of those things that I think could really evolve over time if you give it the proper attention. I know sometimes when people hear that word power, they're like, it sounds like a negative.
Yeah.
Thing. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the organization down the street that serves homeless children is trying to raise $100K real quick. Can they call Eric and get that paper, in that phone call and get connected to the right people to meet their goal? That kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Or they're trying to close a street that is very, very important to a specific organization. Can they call Eric and stop it? Those types of things.
That's power.
That's
the
power.
First one I signed, because I always get confused between power and influence.
Yeah.
I want to know
Well, I can give you my definition. Influence is when you can get people to do things. So like, do things that you've suggested.
All
so
right.
like, you might be like, I give you an example. You asked me to get a green screen for the show. I'm a person that when people typically ask me to do things, the first thing I might say in my mind is like, nah.
Exactly.
You asked me to get it, I got it.
Damn.
That's influence. But that don't have nothing to do with power. That's something.
What's power? What's power?
Power is when you are useful. It's utility. It's like your ability to be useful in a situation. It's usefulness. So I call you and I need to use you to get something very specific accomplished. That's power.
Lava Boy says he read a definition of power as the amount of control you have over the direction of your life.
Yeah, that's good. I would expand that to say the amount of control you have over the direction of your life and other people's lives.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's good. That's good.
Thanks, Lava Boy, for all your interaction today. Y'all drop y'all questions. Let's reset real quick, E. You all are tuned into the Money Sex Gen X podcast. We are here every Sunday, 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live and YouTube. Check us out at moneysexgenxpodcast.com. Shout out to everybody in the UK, in Asia, all across the United States.
Yep.
Brooklyn, Chicago, Evanston, Milwaukee. I could go on and on.
Yeah.
You are here at the Money Sex Gen X podcast. Season 4, episode 2. Are you a high-valued man? Women. My question in women is, do you have a high-value man? Let me start some shit today.
Do you want a high-value man?
Do you want a high-value? And what about, let's talk real quick. What if you're not a high-value man? What does that mean? Nothing. You don't mean nothing, right?
I mean, you don't want to be.
Right.
Some people don't want to be high-value men. I've seen that. They don't care nothing about nothing we're talking about right now.
And are we suggesting that women or people should only be attracted to high-value men?
We certainly are not. It's a choice. You could have a guy who's a really good dude. He's a quality man, but he's not necessarily high value. There's nothing wrong with that, ladies. There's nothing wrong with that.
Miss Betty says yes. I'm assuming. I don't want to assume. What you saying yes to, Betty? I want to know what you're saying yes to. All men should be high value men, or are you saying yes to women should only be dating a high value man? What you saying yes to, Miss Betty? Shout out to Betty in the building.
No doubt. No doubt.
Shout out to Betty.
This is a great conversation, man. I have been waiting so long. After I was made aware, that's the reason why I think this is so important. Like all of these young people that are watching this, you all get to sort of start exploring this early.
How you think about Kevin Samuel? What you think about how Kevin Samuel's be coming at these women, man? I think he be coming at their heads proper and in order, though.
Yeah, I understand it better now. I mean, he's trying to infuse a dose of what I think he feels is reality. You know, he's basically saying like, you want this guy that's a baller, but you're not on that level. You want
a high value dude, but you ain't high value.
Yeah. So, and you know what? I watched these millennials. I can't remember the name of the podcast, but they were young cats and it looked like they were high value dudes. And they were like, and this is off of a glance, but they were saying that the thing that bothers them is when they're dating, that a lot of women don't understand that if you want to be with a high value man, there's responsibilities and roles that come with that. And a lot of women either don't understand it or they don't want to do it.
Oh, E, don't do that. Don't do that, E.
We need to talk about
it. Because that's a whole nother conversation about, and I keep coming back to it low key. I think I was ahead of my time. These doggone gender roles in heterosexual relationships specifically. I cannot speak to anything outside of a heterosexual relationship.
I cannot either.
But I'm talking gender roles and heterosexual relationships. It seems like we skating over that conversation.
We are.
You want a high value man, you expect a man to do certain things. My question, and I'm gonna be very blunt with this question. What are you giving in return outside of some kitty cat?
Yeah, we need to talk about this for a few minutes, and we got time too. We're doing good on time.
And Miss Betty cleared it up. She's saying, yes, you're a high value man. She has a high value man.
Oh, okay.
That's what Betty is saying.
Okay. It's my wife chiming in. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Every man wants to be high value. Anyone who says anything else is showing false humility, with the exception of monks.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I do disagree with him on that. I mean, I've met so many people in my life. There's people I've met, they don't care nothing about this, man. But I respect it. I respect your comment. All right. So now I had a point that I wanted to bring up real quick.
Was it about the gender roles, the roles in the relationship?
Oh yeah. I want to get back to that. So I wanted to ask you. So if a woman is going to be with a high, and ladies, don't worry, we're gonna get to y'all next season about what is a high value woman. Believe that. But right now, I want to ask you if a woman is with a high value man, what do you think some of her expectations should be? In terms of what will be required from her. So you got the dude, you got him. He's a high value man. Got it. What do you have to do now? What's your responsibilities?
I don't have a real answer. My answers right now, I probably shouldn't give because they're gonna bite me in the ass.
Okay.
If I gave these answers today.
All right.
But I'll tell you, I think what I would want to communicate is that while I do believe in you I think it was you that taught me this last season, or maybe it was season 2, about what your pops taught you about being a husband and being in long-term relationships. And it's just like, you got to take it. You just got to take it, right?
Right.
I think what I just want to communicate is that men also want to be served. Men want to be served. And it doesn't mean that you always cooking and bringing him his plate. But ask yourself, ladies, when was the last time you went to your man and said, hey, baby, what do you need? Hey, baby, what can I get for you? Mm-hmm. When was the last time you said, hey, baby, let me get that for you? Okay. And just that. Let's just start there. Okay. I know as men, we're expected to check in on our ladies, to be available, to be attentive. But I think the one thing in expectation is that you pay attention to us and serve your man.
I like that. I want to add on to that. I know when I was dating, I would consistently ask women that I was dating, and a lot of times I didn't get the answer I wanted. I would ask them 2 things. Who are you? And what do you have to bring to the table? Mm-hmm. And Stu, you'd be surprised. A lot of women got upset about that, or it was just very jarring. It's like, who am I? Mm-hmm. What do I have to bring to the table? And so going back to this, if you're with a high value man situation, I think it's cool to want. And I'm going to piggyback off of what Mark said. He said every man wanted to be a high value man. I don't agree with that, but I do agree that most women would like to have a high value man. Mm. And so I would just encourage the women to think about, if you want this guy, what do you have to bring to the table for that situation? He's already high value. Say you are too. You're a high value woman. But again, what are you going to have to do to contribute to that relationship, to keep that level of being high value?
And if to the women in that you talked about that took that that didn't respond or got kind of in their feelings about it, hit dogs holler, man. And again, if that's making you uncomfortable, even in this conversation, if you uncomfortable, if you like what I got to bring to the table, Not saying that any of y'all ever responded like that, but just in case you did, what I gotta bring to the table, then yes, you should be bringing. Then what are you saying? What are you saying? Yes. What are you bringing to the relationship?
Right.
What is so you just expected to just what? Just what's your expectation? You don't have to do nothing, or you only do what you want to do, and that's it.
Right.
And the man's supposed to take all your shit and not say nothing. What? Like what's happening?
And maybe the name of our show was misleading, Big Stu. The Money, Sex, Gen X podcast. Maybe that's misleading in some ways. But ladies, we are not suggesting that money or sex are the end all be all in a high value relationship. That's a whole show. So, all right. So now I'm going to go back and answer your question. Am I a high value man? Based on this criteria, and I hate doing this, but I would say I am a high value man, but I would also say there are some things on this list, as we talked about, that I want to continue to evolve and improve upon. I'll say that.
I would say I'm a high value man. I'd like to be, but I haven't hit I haven't hit my 6-figure number consistently in the last couple of years.
Okay.
So I got to get back to that.
Okay. Well, I'm sure
I'm on track this year. I think oddly enough, man. Another Stu's moment of transparency. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, man. If I could get back into the bag consistently, I think my biggest year. Well, I don't have to get into all of that, but I did have a. Aside from that, so then I guess to be honest, I guess I have to say today I'm not a high value man. I didn't want to admit that, but based on the 10 points, I've been off on number one. I've been down a little bit on number one for the last couple of years. So today, I have to opt out. Today, I'm not a high value man. Today, that sucks.
Yeah, that's real. Sucks. That's your real answer. I love it.
Yeah, not today.
Okay, all right. Now, before we get out of here, we got to do characters in corporate. But before we go to that, I'm curious to know: is this a conversation that you had already been having throughout your life? Did somebody sit you down and talk about this, or was I just left out in the cold?
I've never in life had this conversation. Again, that's why I think I was so shocked by Kevin Samuels having this conversation. My initial response was, who is this dude? You know, like, He ain't on shit. Like, what? All the time. I'm like,
I said the same thing initially, like, man, you know what I mean? Because you take it as an assault. And it mean, you know,
hit dogs holler, man. Hit dogs
holler. Who are you to even suggest or ask if somebody else high value? But then I got it later.
Every time you respond with that who you think you are, anytime, trust me, that's when it's hitting you. And you really got to step back and be like, let me listen to this person again.
No doubt.
Anytime you respond like that, it hits you that hard. So I and what it was, again, I'll say it again for those who weren't in on the conversation. It was my admiration for the dude showing up as hate. Okay. It was my admiration. So I admired this dude. I do. I like his feng shui. I like his candles. I like his I like his style. I like the way his suits fit. I desire to be on that. Like,
that's what was throwing me off a little bit, man. At first, the candles and the feng shui and all that. And you know what I'm saying? It was kind of throwing me a little bit, but I get it. It's cool.
Was it throwing you in a way? Was you questioning his manhood?
It just wasn't what I was used to. I'll say that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that I was open-minded enough to go see him in another situation. And I'm like, oh, okay, he's the dude like me. You know, like I feel him. He knows history. He's strong. He has people coming at him all the time saying that he's a homosexual and just attacking him because they're upset about being asked these questions or not fitting the criteria. People bring up the fact that he was divorced twice and all that. And what he's trying to get people to understand is stop focusing on me and focus on the narrative, the conversation. And I respect that. Like, I don't know this guy. I don't know him. I don't know what's going on with him, but I know that this conversation was extremely important.
Yeah.
For me, and it looks like for you.
Same thing, man. I just got to a point of admiration. He's a dope dude.
No question.
My heart be going out to some of them women he be talking to sometimes because he be breaking them down. But some of them straight up need to be broken down, man. Y'all, some of them women be coming sideways, man.
Yeah. And you know what? He made a point that made a lot of sense. He said we're so far off in our social sort of dynamic. He said, "Now I'm a 50-year-old man, and I'm on a video with a 20-year-old woman talking to me like I'm crazy, you know, like I'm a kid, or that like she could beat me up, or it was very disrespectful, you know." And he's constantly saying, "Hold on, ma'am," and "please," and you know, all of that. He's giving them the respect, but you just don't like what he's saying.
It's true. Hit dogs holler, y'all.
Yeah.
If you upset about what's being said, it's generally something, a trigger inside of you.
No doubt.
That's all it is. So
what a great episode. So this was episode 2 of season 4. Stu, can you give the people a little bit of insight on I'm not asking for show titles, but the sort of energy that we're trying to represent for the rest of this season?
Man, listen, we are trying to bring you useful, meaningful, thought-provoking topics, subjects, and conversations that you can use to change your life today. We want to bring you content that is not only fun and entertaining, but content that you can learn from.
Absolutely.
We are trying to be part of the reason your life is valuable. We are leveling you up with raw insights into the minds of some Gen Xers. Now, they be trying to write us Gen Xers off. Like we the lost, unknown generation. Lo and behold, we are the generation of influencers, authenticity, realness, quality, style, strength, right? Yeah. We are the generation born after the civil rights movement. So we are about it. We are about it. And we want to share that with you. And hopefully, you are able to glean some things from this season that will make your life better.
Very eloquently stated, my brother. Very true, very true. And I'm going to tell y'all something now. I'm going to tell you what you're about to start seeing from us too. So we're a podcast, but we're slowly evolving into a platform. So you're going to start to see us start to highlight a lot of you out there who are heroes. Everyday heroes, people out there that have impact, the characteristics that we just talked about. You all are out there doing that. You're going to start to see those posts. We want to be an outlet for you. You know, you might have a company or organization that you're about to launch. We want to help to promote that. You know, we want to be able to show that. We've been showing Gen X celebrities and all of that, and that's cool. We respect them, but we want to now add this into the mix. We want to be a platform to promote all Gen X voices.
Indeed.
So we're coming. All right, so let's get to this last segment, which is characters from corporate.
Before you do that, E, you want to tell them about the download at the website, the High Value Man checklist?
Yeah, okay, yes. So that's the other change in this season. So we're trying to give you, as Stu did allude to, we're trying to give you things you can walk away with. So you can go to our website, moneysexgenxpodcast.com, and over there you will get a checklist of are you a high value man? Play around with this with your significant other, your friends, your family. Go through the list, do your own analysis, and see where you land.
That's right. Thank you, sir.
All right, let's get into this characters from corporate thing. We do this every week. If this is your first time joining the show, this is just our way of trying to give a little feedback to those who are in corporate. We say characters because we know it's a lot of interesting people in the corporate environment. The question usually becomes, you know, is the person writing in the character or the people that they're dealing with? All right. So this week's submission comes from a 34-year-old Black woman who is from Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn in the house.
Brooklyn is in the house. She says, I get a lot out of Characters in Corporate because you all are offering feedback that is really tough to come by in corporate America. She says, now I was explaining to my teenage niece the other day that when I was in my 20s, I worked at a call center. Okay, so did I.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. She said, I was telling my niece that I used to work 90-hour weeks, 90-hour weeks, and use that money to get apartments, cars, and other things that I needed. Now, as I was talking to my niece, my older sister, who is her mother, she's an attorney, and she suggested to me that maybe that working 90 hours a week at that call center wasn't the best use of time, because I could have been working somewhere else or using that time better to move further along in my career.
Okay.
Do you agree with my sister or do you agree with me? And she says, and on a final note, at that time, I was totally on my own and I needed that money to survive.
Mm.
Am I a character from corporate?
She was in her 20s working at a call center 90 hours a week.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of hours too now.
It's a lot of hours. But she was on her own doing it, right? Doing it for herself, car, apartment.
Yeah, I did it. Like I said, I had 2 jobs at the same time. I was working at one call center during the day and one call center at night. So I get it. I did that.
Yeah, y'all from that generation. You said it. You saw your pops working, doing whatever he needed to do to bring home the bacon.
No
and
doubt.
so you kind of took that on. I never was on that. My pops always had like one supremely high paying job where it always felt like he was the boss and didn't have to do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it always felt like. So I've been on that. Like I ain't about to exert no extra labor if I don't need to. But no, you're not a character from corporate. You was doing what you thought you had to do at the time to survive. I think your sister is right. You know, that there could have been a better use of your time. Yes. But you didn't know, and you did what you were supposed to do at that time. So you're good. In my opinion, my humblest opinion, I don't think you're a character from corporate. E, what about you?
I don't think she's a character because I feel like I was in a similar situation. I do think your sister is right. Maybe at a certain point you could have decided to maybe let that go, but I get it. I wouldn't say you were a character. I agree. You did what you had to do, and you seem like you're okay with it. You know, you seem like you're at peace with the decision. So nah. But again, your sister, I can see how some would say she's correct. Nothing wrong with that. Something to think about, you know. Yeah. Opportunity cost.
Yeah.
Was there an opportunity cost in play because you spend so much time? Because like you work 90, maybe you could have worked 60.
And 90 is a lot. It's only 168 hours in a week.
That's 2 shifts plus 10 hours. So it's a lot.
It's a lot.
So yeah.
I wonder now, I guess too, I wonder what, did you stack anything out of that, or was it all consumable goods?
Yeah. And what are you doing now? Like, what is you doing? You know, are you an entrepreneur? You know, I just love to know the progression.
Come back, answer some of those questions so we can readdress this maybe in another episode. I'd like you to answer those questions. Yeah. But as of right now, preliminary hearing, you are not a character from corporate, but the jury is still out. So you need to answer some questions so we can get back to you. E, I need to point this out real quick. Mark, we're gonna have to do a segment called Eric's Wardrobe Spotlight. Something. You killing them with the hat again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, you
appreciate it.
Are you a fashionista, man? Are you a fashionista, E, man?
I don't even know what that means, brother. You know what I mean?
E Money's Wardrobe Spotlight.
Okay.
Right?
Man, I was trying to match your swag from season 3. I'm like, I gotta step up. I gotta get some new hats and
look,
t-shirts, and you know what I mean? That's really what it is. They say steel sharpens steel.
Well, you cold, bro. You cold, man.
I appreciate
Call you winter because you are cold.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hey, man, I wish y'all could have seen them Jordan Stu had on yesterday, though. Wow. Crazy. Mean. He had a suit on. With the fly hat, a bow tie, and some J. Oh, man.
The retro Spike Lee Jordans.
Wow.
Low top, limited editions. You know, since we've been working together, shoes used to be like my, they were my Achilles heel, man. Shoes, man. Because everybody, y'all don't know. So first of all, Eric is 6'4".
Yes.
I'm 6'6".
Yeah, I didn't realize that till yesterday either. I'm like, this dude is taller than me, man. I don't meet too many people that's taller than me.
That's right.
6'6".
And I wear a size 16 shoe.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a 13.
So I take special pride in my shoes because it's one of the first things people see on me. Okay. So when I got this from my youth, man. It's one of those things that came out of my childhood. Because my feet were so big, I always wanted to make sure that they were fresh. Mm-hmm. But I've gone, even when I first met E a couple of years ago, if I got paid, one of the first things I would do is I would buy shoes, sneakers. And so I don't do that anymore, Eric. I don't think I bought a pair of shoes, gym shoes in a year. But I was just saying that to say I take super pride in my sneaker game, especially wearing a size 16. Yeah. Generally, man, people compliment my sneakers. And hey, it's a defense mechanism of one, and hey man, it's just one of the things that I'm into, man, making sure the sneakers are right, the shoe game is right.
Yeah, I'm like that with the hats, man. I love hats. I order them all the time. I go in the store and pick them up. I don't know, it's just something about putting on a fly hat. It just makes me feel good. You know what I mean?
Makes you look good too, bro.
Thank you. So I can relate to your love for sneakers and all that. Like I think everybody should have those things that just make them feel good. You know what I'm saying? Some people will be like, a material item can't make you feel good. Well, I don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what we're doing. So yeah, man. Thank you for pushing me to step my game up in season 4. Do we know the episode title for next week? No, I don't. I should.
I could get it real quick. Why don't you get ready to introduce our pool music artists? We're gonna do that segment. But and Mark, I'm getting it. I'm looking it up right now. So
okay. I apologize for not having that. I should know it.
Don't worry. It's taking me a little bit.
Wow. That's next week. Okay.
What is it? He got it already?
What does it mean to be an African American? Wow. Okay. And we're gonna we're slated to have a special guest, brother Sean McGee from DC. He is the lead of a band called Black History.
And I think we have Africa Porter joining us next week too.
That's gonna be okay. That's gonna be live.
Yeah, got Africa and Sean McGee. Does he the Black History is the name of the band, right?
Yeah, Black History. Yep. We went to their album release party virtually a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, that'll be a great, lively conversation. So we look forward to having y'all for that. 11:30 a.m. next Sunday. We gonna let it be what it is. Let's close out, man. This was good, Stu.
All right, let's appreciate that. 11:30 a.m. That's Central Standard Time, y'all.
Central Standard Time. We will see you, same platforms. And until next week, we got to say peace, but we're going to leave you with this music's pool artist. Who is the featured pool artist?
Hey, listen, man. I want to highlight somebody different. It seems like we always highlighting Gino Pacino.
Because he cold.
And I know there's so many artists on the pool platform, but this week we're going to bring back Gino Pacino, Moment of Praise, the gospel joint that he dropped. It's on Pool, musicspool.com, Moment of Praise, featuring King Chaz, Gino Pacino. I'm only going to play a piece of it.
Okay.
But here we go.
Praise the Lord for the day, His mercy and grace. It's your name of praise. Praise the Lord for the day, His mercy and grace. It's your name of praise. Even at my lowest point, I know you was gonna annoy me. The game winner 0.3. You know when the time is right, and you lay me down at night. I know if I ever did it wrong, that you would make it right. Thankful for your will and grace, humbled in your warm embrace. Every time they tried to tear me down, that smile was on my face.
Get him, Gino.
Man, I knew I was heaven sent. Ever since I'm covered by the blood, I'm in my element. Lived that life of decadence, made me feel irrelevant. Gave my life into my Lord and Savior, I've been better since. They say I'm a better man, I'm hoping you understand. Everything can change with the Lord, I give you my hand. 1% to a saint, never had to contemplate how I made it up until this point, let me reiterate. They say I'm a better man, I'm hoping you understand. Everything could change with the Lord, I give you my hand. Praise
Come on, man. Come on, man.
For the day.
All right, they got to go catch that.
Another strong track from Gino Pacino.
Man.
Star in the making.
And King Jazz. King Chaz.
All
right, we out of here, man.
We out of here. It's a wrap. We will see you good people next week. Until then, peace.
Peace.